This is Amani Thompson, a freshman at Montclair State University who plays on the women's soccer team. When Amani was born, her kneecaps were tilted to the side. In middle school, she was experiencing a lot of pain in her knees. She went to the doctors, who recommended physical therapy.
Toe walker when she was younger?
Yeah, when I was a baby. I walked on my toes for like a lot of years. So my calves got really tight and big. And some of it is just like, I guess, genetic.
Her kneecaps partially dislocated, but not fully. This is called subluxation, which is an incomplete or partial dislocation of a joint. Her calves and ankles are very tight, which is what causes the kneecap to move, resulting in dislocation.
To describe it, it feels like your kneecap it's like ping pong with your kneecap. Like it just rips through it feels like it's ripping through all your ligaments and then ripping back in.
After a few sessions of physical therapy, Amani went through with her first surgical procedure on both of her knees.
So she came up to me and she goes, "Let me see your thumb." And I was like, okay. So I gave her my thumb and she made me go like this. So that she was like, "Let's see it, can you touch your forearm?" So I did it, obviously like that. And she was like, "Well, that tells me that your ligaments are really loose."
Dr. Schubenstein said Amani had kneecap misalignment. She said that a tibular-tubular transfer is a surgical procedure to improve the alignment of the patella.
There's a ligament that attaches the kneecap to the tibia here. And there's like you can see like a little bump right here.
Her doctor said her going back to soccer is going to determine how hard she works. The biggest milestone to her was being able to lift her leg and flex it.
My attitude towards it was more like finally, I'll be able to play at my full potential after I get this. So I was really motivated to go through PT. Like I did my exercises, had to do it 3 times a day after I got home. It took a while to get back on the field. It was like 2 years. Actually had a 3rd surgery. So on this knee, they only did the tibial tubular transfer. So they had to go back and do the MPFL reconstruction. And they took both screws out of, there was 2 screws in both legs. So they took those out too. I still have to set up practices sometimes. I still have to take it easy, which I'm not good at doing.
Through the process of her journey, she continues to wonder how she got to where she is and if the feeling of hopelessness would ever go away.
I just didn't know how it was gonna happen. So there was a lot of times I felt hopeless, and I felt like discouraged, I felt like, why me? There was nights where like I couldn't sleep. Like I remember like I hated the nighttime because I just couldn't sleep at all. Yeah. And yeah, it was just like the nights were just, like there was nights like I didn't sleep because it hurt, or like I was just thinking about like I just want to play soccer again. Yeah. But like my mom and my dad would come in and they'd realize like I wasn't sleeping and they would help me through it. I wouldn't change anything about what I went through because it made me who I am right now. Like, I love playing soccer. Like there was times before the surgery that I would go on the soccer field. I'm like, it wasn't even like I didn't want to be there. It was just like I took it for granted. Like I wouldn't play to my full potential. I didn't train as much. Thanks. I didn't train as much nearly as much as I do now. I barely lifted weights before the surgery. I didn't run on my own. It was just like something that came naturally to me, so I took it for granted. Like, I didn't think that one day that I wouldn't be able to play. So now I'm going towards the goal in the middle, but I'm still like 30 yards out. So she like starts going this way and she cheats it, and she doesn't, like I cut her, so then she goes that way, and then I go this way, and then she starts following me, and I'm like, okay, we'll have to get rid of this ball soon. So then I take a touch outside, and I just wind up and shoot it like 25 yards out. And it like goes over the goalie and like up to the upper 90, and I was like, what? Like I didn't even watch it go in. I was like, I can't believe this is gonna go in. So I just turn around and I don't even see it go in. I was like, yeah! And just going through my head, I was like, I love this game so much.
Amani's injuries changed the family dynamic. Her mother, Amnika Thompson, gives us the play-by-play of how she felt about her daughter's injury.
So I was at work anxiously awaiting every word, and my husband was going to be, giving me minute by minute updates on how she was doing. It's a very stressful situation where they go from field to field to field, and they have different coaches that are walking and judging them and writing. And so it's very, very tense and stressful. And I sent my husband with specific instructions that he had to tell me every minute of everything that was happening. And the next thing I knew, maybe about definitely less than an hour into the tryout, I get sent a picture of Imani on the table with ice wrapped around her leg, and I knew that it was finished.
Amnika said that all she could do was watch Imani be in pain and hope that the medicine would just work.
The smile on her face when she went into surgery, and she had this big teddy bear that she loved. It was her favorite stuffed animal. She had all these stuffed animals in her room. She loves stuffed animals. But her favorite was this big, gigantic teddy bear that actually her godfather gave her when she was a baby. And she just loved that bear. So we brought the bear in, and we put the surgical cap on the bear and dressed the bear up like her. And so she's holding on to that bear with this gigantic smile on her face.
The emotional impact that it had on Imani as well as the family was indescribable.
Her darkest moments, and a lot of those darkest moments were in the middle of the night when she would wake up in pain, or she would just, I know Imani said she hated the nighttime. And I think part of that was that she had time to think. She constantly likes to keep moving because she doesn't have to think about what she's doing, she just does it. At night, she had time to think and process what was happening to her, and it became overwhelming at times. And so there were lots of times when all I could do was lay in the bed with her and just hold her and tell her it was gonna be all right. And I would keep telling her, God didn't bring you this far to leave you. There's a purpose for what you're going through. You're going to be so strong. She's the strongest kid I know.
The stress it put on the family was very difficult. If it wasn't her father, it was her mother. And when they weren't there, it was her brother. And otherwise, it would be her friends who would help her.
I dread the day that Imani ever has to stop playing soccer. She's always wrapped herself in this identity of being an athlete, and it's so much the core of who she is that I can't imagine life when that has to end for her, which it has to end for every athlete eventually.
It took Imani almost 2 years to be back to normal in her eyes, and although her journey isn't over yet, her strength and determination have brought her a great amount of success.